Well, hey there. Welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If you are brand new to this channel, yay, you found me. I'm so glad. My goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a specific film. And if you are a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your support, and I read every single comment that you all put down below. And as you know, I reply. So I really appreciate that. All right, so the movie I'm reviewing today is called Go West. This film is rated PG-13 and is an hour and 22 minutes. My overall movie review mom grade is, drum roll, a B. I really got a kick out of it, but it's not going to be for everyone. And so let me explain why. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I will point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and even recommendations for other films that are sort of similar in theme. I'll talk about those here in just a few minutes that I think you might like. All right, so let's dive in a nutshell. The story is about a crazy group of pioneers who braved the harsh elements and numerous mishaps to travel thousands of miles out west to find a place that they could call home. The film was directed by Stephen Meek and Jeremy Warner. Writing credits go to Adam Berg, Whitney Call, and Mallory Everton. So the cast came from a group of college students at Brigham Young University, my alma mater. Whoop, whoop. They performed in a comedy troupe called Studio C because that's where they filmed, in Studio C. But since graduating, now they're known as JK Studios. And I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming the JK means just kidding. I don't know. Comment down below if you know that for sure. Anyway, I'm so happy for them and for their success. Congratulations on making a feature film. That's amazing. And that you got to do it together. Now, I think true blue fans of theirs will definitely get a kick out of this campy flick. So starting with that, and the positive, let me tell you some of the things that I really liked about this movie. As I mentioned, this comedic cast comes from this comedy troupe. It includes Natalie Madsen, Whitney Call, Stephen Meek, Matthew Meese, Jason Gray, Mallory Everton, Jeremy Warner, James Perry, Stacey Harkey, Adam Berg, Ruth Clark, Matt Mullen, and many more. Almost all of them played more than one character, showcasing their very versatile talents. The title has previously been used in a Buster Keaton movie back in 1925, then in another movie in 1940 with the Marx Brothers. So the 1979 song by the Village People, Go West, which was later covered by the Pet Shop Boys in 1992, is featured in the movie. Now, I adore Sean Astin and loved him in The Lord of the Rings. Best movie trilogy ever, in my opinion. His character in that movie is talking about potatoes, and he says, potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in your shoe. Actually, I think he says stick them in a stew, doesn't he? Anyway, loved it. So we hear that exact same line mentioned by one of the characters in this movie as a sweet nod to Sean Astin, who is the narrator of this film. Nice touch and big win for this cast to get him to narrate. There's a random musical number that's actually pretty funny. Listen to the words and then the reactions, and then a few other little musical moments, but this is definitely not a musical. The film was written by JK Studios themselves, but there are also gems in the film when cast members improvised many lines, enhancing the script. For example, there's a line that says, I want to watch a man go over a waterfall. There's a moment at a campfire scene that was delivered by Mallory Everton, and that was just a spontaneous line that's kind of funny. Jeremy Warner acted in the film, co-directed the film, co-wrote the film, did most of the editing and much of the special effects. as well as all of the musical score used in the film. Now, I mention his name specifically because he and I have been emailing back and forth as I've asked him to share some little fun facts about the film. And he gave me an invitation originally to review this film and share my thoughts. And so thank you to Jeremy. So they filmed this movie in Utah, mostly outdoors, from October 15th until November 11th, 2022. So they picked that time slot specifically to get the movie in the can before winter. However, the weather quickly turned frigid and began to snow halfway through their shoot. Luckily, it was in sequence, so most of the snow worked for them, and they ended up with some perfectly snowy backgrounds on set as a result, because they're out in the wilderness as pioneers trekking and going west, and so it would have snowed. And so I was wondering as I was watching it how cold it was, because I didn't see anybody shivering, but it had to have been cold because their filming probably took several hours each day that they were out there. So while the snow was beautiful to look at, it made for very cold filming sessions throughout the production. Now, Stacey Harkey actually played in a couple of video ads for a dating app that my son invented called Mutual. So these are a couple of video clips that were filmed early on when the company first launched. And so, of course, Stacey Harkey means a lot to our family because it was the beginning of the whole marketing campaign for this dating app, which has gone on to become extremely successful. And yes, I like to talk about it any chance I get because I'm so proud of my son. It's an amazing app. Mutual, my shameless plug. All right, now on to some of the things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done differently or better. For example, not all of the humor lands, but sometimes the writers knock it out of the park. I wanted to love this movie and just be laughing uproariously the whole time, but that didn't actually happen. There were a few times I snickered or laughed out loud, but some of the humor is a little off color, which kind of surprised me. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute when I talk about tips for parents. Now, I love Mallory Everton. I think she's so talented. And so I was disappointed that she didn't get to play more characters and show off her wide range. Now, a few of these characters we have actually seen go on to be in TV ad commercials and other projects. And so it's really fun to see them being recognized for their talent. Now, on to tips for parents. As I mentioned, there is a lot of potty humor and jokes that are kind of done in poor taste, which again just kind of surprised me. This comedy troupe has some very clever writing, and potty humor is kind of the lowest level of humor that you could use, unless your movie is for children. But this movie was probably for some kids, but also for the adults that have loved this comedy group. And so I just was expecting to see more clever, witty humor. I mean, you can toss in a little bit of potty humor for the kids, but anyway, I'm kind of going on and on because some of the potty humor was going on and on. There's a lot of blood and snot and talk of other bodily fluids in the movie as well. But the great news is that there's no profanity. So watch the trailer and see if this is a movie that you think that you would like or that you would feel comfortable having your young kids watch. I mean, there's nothing offensive other than all of this body humor, potty humor type of stuff, really. Otherwise, it is family friendly. All right, so some of the themes that are illustrated very well are the importance of family. The protagonist, really at the heart of the movie, is a mother who is trying to get west to be with her family, her kids who had gone on ahead of her for various reasons. And so she is going through all kinds of crazy stuff to get to her family. Other themes are persistence and determination, certainly represented by her and everybody else in her traveling group, which, by the way, on occasion, all of a sudden, random people would be in her traveling group. Now, in reality, these pioneer treks really would have gone and traveled with big groups of people. And I have ancestors who traveled across the plains of the United States to go west. and they would travel in groups of 50 or 100, or sometimes even more, with stage coaches and wagons, as well as pushing these hand carts. Anyway, kind of fun fact. Back to my themes. Other themes that are illustrated are courage, of course, and hope. Now, every time I watch movies, I write notes. Specifically, I write down funny lines and interesting lines simply so I can share them with you, and you can get a taste for the dialogue and the script writing quality and that kind of stuff. I have them all in my written review at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share one of them with you right now. There's this one character played by Whitney Call, and I adore her. I think she's also so fun. She does such a variety of fun characters on her comedy sketch show. And anyway, she plays a woman whose name is Robert because her father wanted a son. And she's an interesting character, which is a lot of fun. But anyway, one line that just caught my attention is she's talking to somebody, another woman, and she says, "Don't play female with me," meaning, you know, like a dumb female, like, because people think that women back then were dumb, obviously, and even considered chattel or property of men. Anyway, she's just kind of a fun, interesting character, but she also plays a few other characters as well. All right, so now let me shift gears and give you some recommendations for 3 movies that are not similar in the sense that they are not comedies at all, but similar in the sense that they are about crossing the plains and going west, and specifically going through that Oregon Trail that's mentioned in this movie. So the first one is called 17 Miracles. And by the way, all of these are true stories brought to film. Anyway, it's very touching, very sweet. And the next one is called One More Mountain. Again, also a true story. And these movies represent how difficult it was, specifically these last 2, how harsh the environment was as they went across the plains and all of the things that they had to deal with. The last one is called The Homesman. And likewise, this one is not an easy film to watch because it paints a fairly realistic picture of what the pioneers had to go through. And so I live in Las Vegas, which was founded by pioneers, specifically Mormon pioneers that founded a lot of the cities on the West Coast. And so I'm grateful for them for having that grit. Oh, that's another movie you should watch, True Grit. You can watch the original, but I really liked the newest version as well. Check that one out. But the true grit that's required. Anyway, I hope if you watch this movie, you're in a fun, punchy mood and that you get a kick out of it like I did. Comment down below, and when you get a minute, subscribe and like this video if you found it to be helpful in making your decision if you're going to watch this film with your family. All right, have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.